Have you ever felt that unsettling silence when you're alone at night? The world around you completely still, and the only sound is your own breathing? That's exactly where my story begins. I wasn't searching for anything unusual. I wasn't chasing ghosts or looking for danger. I was just another person, tired and restless, trying to get from one place to another. But sometimes the road doesn't stay empty. Sometimes the night hides things you don't expect to see, things you can't explain. That night I realized the darkness wasn't just surrounding me, it was watching me. I was on the road because of a new opportunity, a job interview in another city, something I desperately needed. My life had been stuck in the same routine for too long, and this interview felt like a door finally opening. The problem was, the city was hours away, and the only time I had to travel was late at night after work. I told myself it would be fine, just a long drive, nothing more. I packed a small bag, grabbed some coffee, and set out with the kind of tired determination you get when you know there's no turning back. At first, everything was normal. The highway stretched out ahead of me, long and endless. Streetlights grew more and more distant until it was just me, the road, and the constant hum of the engine. The deeper into the night I drove, the quieter the world became. Cars disappeared one by one until mine seemed to be the only vehicle left. The silence was almost heavy, pressing in from the windows, broken only by the low rumble of the tires against the pavement. I tried to distract myself with thoughts of the interview, of how different my life could be if everything worked out. But beneath those thoughts, another feeling crept in, something I couldn't name yet. It was like the road itself was watching me, waiting for me to notice. About 2 hours into the drive, the monotony of the road began to weigh on me. My eyes burned, my hands ached from gripping the wheel, and every mile felt heavier than the last. I sipped my coffee, turned the radio on low, and told myself I just needed to push through. That's when I saw him. At first, I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. Far ahead, in the weak glow of my headlights, there was a figure on the shoulder of the road, a man, standing completely still. He wasn't waving for help, he wasn't moving at all, just standing, as if he'd been waiting. I slowed down slightly as I passed. His head turned, following me with his eyes. My chest tightened, and for a split second, I thought about stopping. Maybe he needed help, maybe he'd broken down. But there was no car, no sign of trouble. Just him in the middle of nowhere, dressed in what looked like a dark suit. The image burned into my mind as I drove on. I whispered to myself, trying to shake it off. You're just tired. People walk the roads at night. It's nothing. Still, I kept checking the mirrors, expecting to see him again, standing right behind me. The road was supposed to be empty. So why wasn't it? 10 minutes later, I saw him again. The same figure, the same stillness, standing by the side of the road as if the world hadn't moved forward at all. My stomach turned cold. I gripped the wheel tighter and pressed the gas, refusing to believe what I was seeing. Maybe it was someone else. Maybe it was just another traveler. But deep down, I knew it wasn't. His stance, the way his head followed my car, it was exactly the same. I kept driving, my heart pounding now louder than the engine. My eyes flicked to the mirrors, half expecting him to appear in the back seat. Every shadow on the road looked like a shape. Every reflection in the glass made me flinch. And then, as if the night wanted to prove I wasn't imagining things, I spotted him for a third time. This time he was standing beneath a highway light, perfectly still, his face clearer now. Short hair, pale skin, that same dark suit. He didn't step forward, didn't lift a hand. He only turned his head slowly as I passed, like a predator keeping track of its prey. I whispered to myself again, trying to sound in control. It's not real, you're tired, that's all, just tired. But the words didn't feel true anymore, because deep inside I knew he wasn't finished with me yet. I thought I was imagining it, until I saw him inside my car. I had pulled over at a rest area, desperate for coffee and a moment to breathe. The lot was empty, lit only by a few flickering lights. I parked, thinking I could rest my eyes for a minute. That's when I glanced into the rearview mirror and froze. There he was, sitting in the back seat. His face calm, expressionless, staring straight at me. For a second, my heart stopped. My entire body went cold. My first instinct was to scream, but no sound came out. My hands trembled as I tried to rationalize it. "It's just a trick of the light. You're exhausted. It's nothing," I whispered. I couldn't move, couldn't look away. Then, as quickly as he appeared, he vanished. Just like that. No shadow, no trace, nothing but the empty back seat. I stumbled out of the car, practically tripping over myself, and screamed into the empty lot, my voice echoing back at me in the cold night air. I spent the next few minutes checking every corner of the car, convinced he might be hiding somewhere. But there was nothing. No sign of anyone. Only my racing heartbeat and the trembling in my legs. That's when I realized exhaustion and fear had taken control. But even as I tried to convince myself it was over, I knew something had changed. The night wasn't safe anymore. And somewhere, in the shadows of that empty lot, I could feel that he was still out there, watching, waiting. I couldn't stay in the car. I had to move, had to escape, but every instinct screamed that it wouldn't matter. My hands shook as I started the engine, my eyes darting to every shadow in the parking lot. The rest area was empty, or so it seemed, but my mind refused to let me believe it. As I merged back onto the highway, every passing car, every reflection in the mirrors made me flinch. My pulse raced, my thoughts scattered. I kept imagining him appearing, just sitting there, calm and silent, letting me drive while silently watching me. Sleep-deprived and panicked, I realized I wasn't in control anymore, and then it happened. A movement in the back seat. I spun around in horror, heart in my throat, but there was nothing, just empty space. My hands gripped the wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. My mind couldn't tell what was real and what wasn't. Every passing mile felt like an eternity. Every faint sound made me jerk the wheel, almost losing control. By the time I reached the next exit, I was shaking, exhausted and completely on edge. I pulled into a random motel, parked under a flickering light, and forced myself to sit in the car for a few moments, trying to catch my breath. I knew sleep wasn't coming anytime soon. Every shadow outside, every reflection in the glass felt alive. I realized something terrifying. The night wasn't done with me. It had gotten under my skin, into my thoughts, and no matter where I went, I knew it would follow. The next morning, I forced myself out of the motel bed. My body was exhausted, but my mind refused to rest. I told myself it was over, that it had all been exhaustion, fear, a hallucination. Maybe it was. I arrived at the interview location, trying to shake off the unease. The receptionist smiled, the office was normal, and for a moment I almost believed I was back in reality. Then my interviewer walked in. I froze. It was him. The same man from the night before, same calm, neutral expression, same presence that had haunted every mile of my drive. My stomach sank, and my hands began to tremble again. I tried to focus on the questions, on pretending nothing was wrong, but my mind was trapped in that night, trapped in the empty highway and the flickering rest area lights. I got the job. I did what I had to do to survive that day. But even now, years later, I can't shake the feeling that he's still out there, somewhere between the shadows and the streetlights, waiting silently. And sometimes when I drive alone at night, I swear I can feel those eyes on me, watching just out of reach, reminding me that some encounters don't end when the sun comes up.